Morning, all. So while we wait on an announcement, which is likely this week, sure, why not? We're up to December 14th, so the announcement is likely. Let's discuss some news of the day, and it's over the last couple of days because it's gotten quiet again. However, the Canucks, right after I did my preview of the Canucks for this season, they signed Taylor Graovac, and this is why I'm glad I don't do depth charts on this year's previews. That's it right there. Every time I would do a preview and then somebody would get traded or there'd be some kind of signing, people would say, "Do you have to redo the preview now?" No. No. "Oh, this guy got moved. Do you have to redo the preview now?" No, no, I don't. No. Stop. No. So, yeah, Graovac returns to the Canucks. Decent call-up, fill-in type guy. And so there's that depth that every team needs. And then making the news yesterday, and sad news that former general manager of the Colorado Avalanche, Pierre Lacroix, has passed away. He architected this team to Stanley Cups in 96 and 2001. He was a very good general manager. And it's just another sign that 2020 needs to just go away. Way, way, way too many like this year. Even in the case of hearing Charlie Pride had passed on, first off, I didn't know Charlie Pride was still kicking, and secondly, I hadn't heard Charlie Pride music in a long time. That was like my grandfather's favorite was Charlie Pride, so it took me back hearing some of that when I was watching the news. So yeah, just 2020 being what it is and all. Players are continuing to leave Europe to come back for training camp, to prepare for training camp. If they're coming into Canada, of course, that means a 14-day quarantine before they're able to proceed. And I know that there's people concerned with the state of things right now and all the shutdowns and everything that have been going on. The NHL will figure this out. The NHL will have... there's more and more talk of modified bubbles to start the season. That's what's going to happen. My guess is that it's going to be like the play-in rounds where we're going to have hockey all day, every day, and it's going to be tough. This is going to be the toughest season the NHL's ever put together, which makes sense because Major League Baseball went through a tough time themselves. The NFL's had that as well, and now it's the NHL's turn. So we'll see what they can do. And I know people are going to say, "Well, the NHL already did it," but the NHL only had to do playoffs. They didn't have all 31 teams playing. And they just had the two hubs. And so what they've done compared to what other leagues have done, it is admirable and commendable. And yet there's more logistical issues with what they're trying to do now than with what they were trying to do to get the playoffs done. So, of course, a couple days ago, the Cleveland baseball team has decided to change its name. And it's interesting because I haven't said that team's name in a long time. And they had gone away from that logo a while ago. They did. They went away from that logo a while ago, much like Washington was kind of distancing themselves, and then basically they couldn't sell merch anymore, so Washington had to change their football team's name, which still doesn't have a name. It's going to end up being Red Hawks, I think, or something. I don't know. It's going to be something different, or Red Tails, or there's other things I know they want to keep the colors. You know what's weird is I actually kind of like their jerseys and helmets now with numbers. It looks collegiate. It's actually kind of cool. And right now they're 6-7 and they lead their division. So, and on the power rankings for the NFL, all I've been doing, because I don't have like an official logo, I just have the Kevin Malone, because that's the yeah I'm awesome kind of look. And they are right now. That logo absolutely suits. So yeah. And now, of course, this is going to be a question of when does this get changed, which, according to the Iron Sheik, should be immediately. And we're going to hear about this again. And Chicago has gone through this already. When Washington made their name change, the Blackhawks already came out and they said, "All right, so here's our contributions to the community, our partnership with Native Americans and the indigenous people," and it doesn't matter. People are still going to say, "No, that's got to get changed." I think eventually the logo probably does change. I will say this, the Hawk logo that everybody wants them to change to, you've seen that Hawk logo where it looks somewhat the same, but it still has the headdress, so, right? So still, That logo actually is already copyright and being used by another team, and I talked about that the last time we got into the whole Chicago thing. So they can't use that one. Eventually, they'll change the logo. They don't have to change the name. Eventually, they change the logo. They're named after an infantry division, which was named after Black Hawk, which was 2 words, the leader of the Sioux tribe. I know it's Sauk, but isn't it Sioux or Sauk or Sauk or something? Anyways, but yeah, eventually, I think the logo probably changes. But I'm going to come back to that. Todd McLellan is saying all the right things, and he's right. Coach of the LA Kings, and he's saying this is the year. He's right. With the way the West looks, might be the best chance for the Kings right now. And I mean that. I mean they can realistically beat San Jose and Anaheim. So that's 2 right there. And then if Minnesota's in their division, there's the possibility they can keep up with Minnesota. So that's 3 teams. It is possible that the LA Kings stay in the hunt and maybe get their way into 4th spot in their division. So I think they'd have a harder time in the traditional Pacific, but they don't have to worry about the Western Canadian teams, and we'll see how it goes for them. But he's saying all the right things, and he's correct. They have all of the pieces in place in every position. They have young blue liners, young forwards, and a good young goaltender in Cal Peterson. Everything is in place for the Kings to turn it around. So we'll see if that does in fact take place. The last thing on the board is don't take it all so seriously. So we're going to go back to the Chicago thing again. If they change the logo, fine. If they don't, fine. I've worn Blackhawks gear going back to high school, maybe even middle school. I don't remember. I think I had a sweatshirt for Chicago because I thought their logo looked cool, and I liked the team at the time. And again, I don't have a particular attachment to the logo. Maybe it's because I'm a Canuck fan and I've learned don't get attached to the logo. But it's just, and maybe it's a 2020 thing, but taking everything really seriously seems to be a thing right now. And that includes videos on here. If you're of the bent that, okay, if Shannon does a preview for my team and he doesn't do it the way that I like it, that I'm probably not going to watch any more of his videos, maybe you're taking it a little too seriously. Maybe when I do list videos and I make a list and I post, I go, all right, there's the list, and I post the video. Maybe for me it's done. And then, and then it'll get posted on the internet, look at Shannon's list, and look at this is dumb, and da-da-da-da. Not understanding, of course, when they post that it's free advertising. I see my view counts go up. I see my subscriber counts go up. Not understanding that I'll watch as on Instagram I gain like 100 followers in a day because somebody, tried to tag me in something. And so I think there's a lot of people just take this so seriously. And it comes back to sort of the same argument I have with the advanced stat side of things, in that it's looking for absolute truth where it's just opinion. And that's something that I've seen a lot in sports. And maybe part of that is this idea of, okay, teams are going to change their image, their logos, and you need to do this. Okay, now we need to clean that up. And I don't know, it's just everything is just taken so seriously, and it's bizarre to me because I think I'm trying to think of a time when I've ever said, wow, so I'm not going to listen to them anymore. And it's funny, I'm going to mention the Doug McLean thing because it was funny when he said Antti Raanta needs to make a save when Arizona was going through that horrible start to the season. At the time he said that, Raanta hadn't played in weeks. He was hurt. And so I thought it was funny that here he was on TV going, well, Raanta, well, yeah, he's hurt. So, yeah, clearly he needs to make a save while he's injured. And I thought it was entertaining for that reason. That and yet I never said, well, I'm not going to listen to Doug McLean anymore. I'm never going to watch Sportsnet again. And yet you'll see that. You'll see, I'm done. I don't like the way he did this. I'm finished. My favorite one, though, is when it's, well, he used to be so much better before. No, I didn't. No. I used to post all the hot takes, which were really cringy, and I would regret them almost immediately after I posted them. And there were videos where I would pull one video down because people got mad about it, and then I'd try to post another one, and I was really uncertain of myself. And I've learned along the way that I can't be doing that. And that if, in the way of the previews, I go, okay, this is how I want to do this. And then if people don't like it, I have to go, well, okay. Because the other way, what happens is that if I make a change and I go back and I change the way I did a video, it may make that one person, 2 people, 4 people happy. But then for hundreds of others, it might be, well, I liked it better before. What? You changed it for those guys just because they were complaining. And it just encourages more complaining. So, again, I think that with the videos I do daily, I see it more as I'm trying to, just give one fan's opinion on how things, and that's always been how this is. It's one fan's opinion. I was looking in I think it's Sports Forecaster, their pick for the Norris Trophy is Seth Jones. And I got a kick out of that because I thought, there's so many people online who will try to tell me that Seth Jones is a terrible defenseman and that it's a horrible take for me to say he's a good defenseman. And yet here's a yearbook, which I assume has a staff. The staff has decided, all right, we're going to say that we think the best defenseman in the NHL this year is going to be Seth Jones. And they're published, and they've been a thing for almost 20 years. Sports Forecaster, I want to say, goes back about 20 years with their annuals and yearbooks. So, yeah, I just found that kind of funny when I was reading that. And again, maybe when that video goes up and you go, hey, that's my favorite team, he'd better talk about so-and-so. Maybe I don't want to talk about the superstars. Maybe I want to talk about something different. Maybe I realize that, like, most websites have already done previews for this season. Most websites are already either finished or almost finished or halfway finished, and I'm just, doing mine now. So you've probably already watched previews on all your favorite teams, and I want to talk about something a little bit different and approach it from a bit of a different angle. And the reason that I did that too was because I've already been doing overviews of rosters, which involved the full depth chart, and and then I don't want to keep doing just depth charts because it gets tedious for me to make those videos. So I know if it's tedious for me to make the videos, then there's going to be fatigue in the audience in terms of watching those videos. So don't take it all so seriously. It's never been about, who's right and who's wrong. And the funniest part was, the one comment I saw was that I'm just a know-it-all and I don't take criticism and I always have to be right. So that and the funny thing was, yeah, he used to. No. The first time that I got called a know-it-all, I had like 200 subscribers. They'd go, hey, you're a know-it-all, and you just tell everybody how you're right. And I was like, what are you talking about? What? Okay. And so, again, take it all so seriously. I really don't. But again, when I guess the weird thing is he's wrong when it's a preview, and if I don't mention every player on the team, it doesn't mean I'm wrong. That's not how wrong works, because it's not an opinion. I'm not saying, in my opinion, these players don't exist. That would be a great video, though, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it be great if I actually posted depth charts and intentionally left a superstar of each team and just the amount of triggering that would go on? I don't do that. I don't. I mean, it would get view counts up and it'd see subscriber numbers drop, but I don't do that. And yeah, I like to think that the videos that I made 3-4 years ago are the same as the videos I make now, just with less swearing and anger, because I'm not sweary and angry anymore. It's really the only difference to me. And of course I have the whiteboards and the set, but other than that, nothing's changed. I'm still here every day making videos for you fine people. And if there was one other change, it would be that 4 years ago I was working a full-time job, and the videos I would make after work, and I was usually half dead, and you know, the videos weren't as planned out as they are now, where I didn't have as many playlists, and I certainly had times where I felt like I was more rushed, And I really, it was something I was doing on the side for like $2 a day that my coworkers used to laugh about, like, oh, you spent 3 hours on YouTube videos yesterday, and how much money did you make? $4. Well, why would you do that for $4? Just stay here for overtime and you'll make like, $20. I don't want to stay here and work overtime for $20. I'd rather go home and make $2 or $4 on YouTube, because that's $4 I didn't make here. And eventually this happened. So there you go. Thank you guys, though, for all your support along the way. Thank you guys so much. Like I said, try not to take it as seriously as things. And when the Iron Sheik tweets out that change it. If he's on one topic, you can always tell him, wasn't Hulk Hogan amazing? And I guarantee you, Iron Sheik, or ask him about B. Brian Blair. So anyways, there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, as always. And remember, breathe, deep breaths. When I go back and I start doing previews again today, deep breaths, relax. And like I said, try not to take it. It reminds me of that scene in Donnie Darko where Donnie's all upset and the girlfriend's saying, Donnie, sit down. Sit down. Just sit down. Just relax. Sit down. Just please sit down. That's what it reminds me of. So when people are all worked up in the comment section, that's what I think of, is just Jenna saying, just sit down. Just shh, stop. Just settle. Or Sheldon having Soft Kitty sang to him. So there you go. Thank you guys, though, for those that have stuck around and not decided to run off. And I will be here to talk to you guys again soon, and I'm going to keep doing previews. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I'll talk to you again soon.